This video will show you how to bake a New York style cheesecake. Actually, we're going to bake two because they're that good. I've been getting a lot of requests for cheesecake, the New York style cheesecake a la George, and I can't keep up with the orders anymore. So I've decided to put the recipe online and to shoot a video of how to make one of these, or actually I'm going to make two of them at the same time. And so now you will be empowered to be cheesecake aficionados. Really good at cheesecake after this video. Here's the recipe in written form. You can pause it to take a closer look at it, or if you don't want to watch the whole video. This recipe calls for a 9-inch springform. I will be using 2 of them, and I'll be doubling the ingredients. So if you're making one cheesecake, use half the ingredients I am. I like to stick to basics, so I'm going to use unsalted butter to grease the pan. You can use whatever you want. So I take a stick of butter and I put it in a bowl, and then I microwave it and melt it. Since the butter's frozen, I'm going to cook it for a couple minutes. So I have 2½ cups of graham cracker crumbs, and I'm dumping them into the melted stick of butter. I'm gonna add 1½ cup of sugar. And mix. So once the sugar, the butter, and the graham cracker crumbs are mixed up, you put them in the tin form and spread it out. I take the tin form, and while I'm spinning it, I tilt it to get the edges to be decorated of the cheesecake. Since I have 2 tin forms and 2 cheesecakes, I can tilt and spin one above the other in case that I spill a little bit like I just did there. I use a glass that has a right edge on it to press down the graham crackers into the tin form. When you're pushing down the graham cracker crumb mixture, you need to get up to the edge so that you get a good seal for the batter not to run out. This is what the graham cracker crumb mixture looks like before it's been pressed down, and this is what it looks like after it's been pressed down. Then I preheat the oven to 300 degrees. She's on, Captain! It's on! It's on! Yeah. So what I like to do, just to be on the safe side, is to take some aluminum foil and make a square and put it on the bottom of the tin form. It doesn't have to be a perfect seal, but just so that it would catch any drips that might occur. So now you can put the tin form aside and you get a big bowl. Yum, cheese. What can't it do? Incoming cheese. I've got a riddle for you. What's better than cheese? More cheese. And if some cheese is good, then more cheese is even better. Yay. And here's number 8. Good shot. Now I just take a sturdy spoon and start mashing. Oh yeah. Get busy with it. Take your frustrations out on the cheese. That's right. That cheese. Now, of course, if you had a good blender that had the dough attachment to it, this would be much easier. So once I've mixed up the cream cheese a little bit with the spoon, I switch over to the blender. Get out the big guns. So once the cream cheese has become whipped, I can start adding the other ingredients.
Next, I add the sweetened condensed milk, which comes in 14-ounce cans, 4 of them because I'm making 2 cakes.
And now I'm going to add a dozen eggs. When adding the eggs, I don't add the eggs directly to the batter. I put them in a separate glass before I add them so that I can check to make sure there aren't any shells. Ooh, look, my fortune.
Then I add 1 cup of 100% lemon juice, natural strength.
And then 4 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. I like to beat the whole mixture on high for a while to get it really creamy. And when I say for a while, I mean like for maybe a minute or two. Now that the batter's ready, all we have to do is pour it into the tin form.
Once I am done scraping out the bowl, I end up with a little bit of a lumpy mixture here. So what I do is I just smooth it out a little bit with a spoon. Now all I got to do is shove it in the oven. Normally I would be putting it into the bottom rack if I just had one cheesecake for more even heat. But since I'm actually going to be doing 2 cheesecakes, I'm going to take it off the bottom rack, put it on the top rack. Put the first cake in on the top rack, and then put the second cake in the bottom, so that none of the carbon from the racks will actually get onto the top of the cheesecakes. When I'm removing them, I'll remove the bottom one first and then the top one.
Set the timer for 1 hour and 5 minutes, which would be 65. Oh no, it's 5 seconds to cheesecake time. The bottom one could have used a little bit more baking, and the top one could use a little bit less, or if you like it like that, this is kind of nice.
Now, if you cool your cheesecakes too quick, they will get cracks on the top, so don't do it.
Release the springform slowly. The cheesecake will start separating from the outside of the edge. Remove the aluminum foil before you do this. Use a knife to separate the cheesecake from the springform. Cheesecake should slide right off. Ta-da!